Hey guys, welcome to another stream on Football Overseas YouTube channel, and we're live for AFCON 2025 Gameweek 2 predictions. It is knockout math and VAR lies and teams on the break live here. So this is Gameweek 2 preview, Gameweek 2 preview, Gameweek 1. So good performances in Gameweek 1, and we saw entertaining games, especially towards the end, especially Group E. We saw a lot of action that happened in Group E with Burkina Faso. The three last-minute goals from Burkina Faso, that was a highlight from Group E. And Group D, we saw some actions. DRC Congo versus Benin, a goal being disallowed. Senegal versus Botswana, that was a goal match, packed of goals. And Ivory Coast and Algeria versus Sudan, that was a game packed with goals, one goal disallowed. Group C, Group C was mostly protected, but good games. Uganda versus Tunisia versus Uganda. I thought it was a four-goal thriller match, but Tunisia thought to be winning it at halftime. Halftime was a 2-0 lead. Group B, Egypt versus Zimbabwe. I thought it was a bit boring. South Africa versus Angola was more of a physical duo. And South Africa was robbed of some results, some fixtures, and those. So, and Group A, we saw a lot of packed actions. Mali getting a goal disallowed. That goal will have had Mali win by 2-1, but in the end, Mali drew to Zambia. Morocco versus Comoros. Morocco missed one penalty. Morocco had one goal disallowed. Morocco could have smashed Comoros 4-0 instead of 2-0. So Gameweek 1 had a lot of drama, and it's what you ask for from AFCON, what you ask for from CAF, and here we are. More Zambia versus Comoros, and we're live for that first game. Before you start off, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Make sure you like the stream. Make sure you comment down your predictions because we're live for that, and we're live for the preview. And you can start off the first game. First game we have is Zambia versus Comoros. Comoros, I thought versus Morocco. Comoros was performed poorly against Morocco. They were lucky that that the goalkeeper saved them in the game. They saved one penalty in the game. They saved one penalty in the game, and they had VAR rule out one goal for Morocco. So it was ended up being a 2-0. Two goals they conceded. They didn't attack as much as possible. They mostly sat back. So I think that's a disadvantage mostly. And with then Mali versus Zambia. Zambia kept on coming against Mali. Zambia played well. They expected Mali too much. I feel like that Zambia was lucky to get a draw. VAR ruled it out. Ruled out the winner goal for Mali. It will have been a 2-1 win for Mali, but it ended up being a draw. I think Mali performed poorly. They had the lead, they bottled a lead, and hopefully heading to this. Yeah, so these are both teams. Zambia versus Comoros. These are both teams who lost their fixtures. Um, Zambia is third with 1 point, 1-1. Comoros is fourth, 0.20. I think heading to this game, mostly both teams' preparation readiness for the AFCON has been very low. Whoever who wins this game basically secures third place. or second place. I don't think any of these two teams will qualify for AFCON. Will qualify for AFCON knockout stage. Yes, judging by how they performed, I don't think any of these teams will qualify for AFCON games. And yeah, let me even do it.
You're looking at me like I should have put a better gift.
Anyway, so good enough. So Zambia versus Comoros is a good game fixture. Where reduce the volume of the game. Zambia versus Comoros is a good fixture to play with. I think Zambia will perform slightly better than Comoros. If I'm judging by performance, I think Zambia will perform slightly better than Comoros. And Comoros was a shitty performance. If I was going to go by results, I'm going to predict a 2-0 game. Yeah, so Zambia versus Comoros. Sorry for that. Yeah, so Zambia versus Comoros. I predict it will be a 2-0 result. Zambia is a strong team. Partisan Dhaka was no, no, no. Partisan Dhaka will score some few goals, and yeah, it will be a 2-0 result for this game. Next game is Morocco versus Mali. Morocco is a strong team. They performed well against Comoros. They had two goals. They both one goal for the penalty that ran up for Morocco. Yeah, that penalty should have been scored, and Morocco had a goal disallowed. Both teams had two goals disallowed, but Morocco's will have smashed Comoros 4-0. Mali will have beaten Zambia by 1-0 scoreline. So, judging by that, I think Morocco is a stronger team by far, and I think Morocco will beat Mali 2-1. Strong performance for Morocco, and that will mean my predictions go well. Yeah, if my predictions go well, it means that Mali has a must win against Comoros in Gameweek 3. Mali must beat Comoros. Otherwise, because Zambia is top of the table, will be top two, and Morocco will go to 6 points. Mali will be 1 point. Zambia will be 4 points. So, yeah, that will make the table very interesting for Game Week 3. And yeah, that will make the table interesting for Game Week 3. So, next one is next one is Game Week to be here. You have some fixtures. Egypt versus South Africa. Egypt played a good game against South Africa. Uh, Egypt played a good game against Zimbabwe, though it wasn't as interesting as South Africa's game. South Africa could have smashed Angola 3-1. So South Africa performed well against Angola. I think Angola was just poor in terms of defending, and South Africa scored 3 goals that night. 1 goal was disallowed. Egypt didn't have any goals disallowed in the game. So I think this game will be a tight game. I'm backing South Africa for this game, and I'm going to go for a 2-0 game. 2-0 win for South Africa against Egypt. 2-0 win for South Africa against Egypt. Yeah. Next game is to be Angola versus Zimbabwe. Angola performed poorly against Zimbabwe. That one again, Angola performed poorly against South Africa. In the second half, I thought Angola, yes, Angola scored a goal. Yes, Angola scored a goal, and Zimbabwe also scored a goal. Both of them scored a goal, but in the end, both teams lost to one. In the end, both teams lost to one. So Angola could have lost by 3-1. Angola was lucky that that goal disallowed wasn't the third, will have counted as the third goal conceded, but it was cancelled. And Zimbabwe played well. They offered a real opposition to Egypt, and yeah, The reason why Zimbabwe is currently third and Angola is currently fourth. And look at this fixture. I see Angola's strength is way better than Zimbabwe. Even though Zimbabwe performed well in Gameweek 1, I'm backing Angola to beat Zimbabwe. I think Angola will beat Zimbabwe, and look at these performances. I think Angola will beat Zimbabwe 2-1. Use the fixture. Zimbabwe, Angola has something to prove. They have to bounce back, especially after their luxurious performance in the second half against South Africa. They have to bounce back, and Zimbabwe will be looking to continue their defensive performance against Egypt. They'll be looking to defend against Angola. Both teams are good teams. Zimbabwe has some attacking players here and there. Angola is mostly a defensive nation. So it will be interesting match to see. I don't think it will be high scoring. I don't think it will be high scoring. It will be like game week 1. I don't think game week 2 will be high scoring for Group B. I think this will be a smooth operation, and if my predictions go correctly, that will mean South Africa goes to 6 points. South Africa goes to 6 points. Egypt goes to 3 points. Egypt goes to 3 points. Zimbabwe goes to 0 points. Angola goes to 3 points, which will mean Angola goes from fourth to second. Egypt goes from South Africa stays fast. Egypt drops to third place. Zimbabwe drops from third to fourth on the table. That will mean that Egypt versus Angola will be a good game. Egypt versus Angola will be a good game because both of them will be fighting for points for top two. Yeah, if that happens, it sets up a good group finale. And South Africa versus Zimbabwe. South Africa will have already qualified out of the group. They can rotate. So South Africa needs to beat Egypt so that they can rotate against Zimbabwe and they can have an easy group finale. And I think South Africa will do that against Egypt. I think the only teams that are there in Egypt is what Mamos, Salah, the rest. That's yeah. So Group C is East Africa Derby. East Africa Derby between Uganda. East Africa Derby between Tanzania, Uganda versus Tanzania. Uganda versus Tanzania. That will be a good East Africa Derby. Both teams both teams performed well. I thought Tanzania performed really well against Nigeria, especially defensively, especially the first half. He really pocketed Osimhen. Osimhen was nowhere to be seen in that game for Tanzania versus Nigeria. I think even Tanzanian boy got a Nigerian body during that time, and it was a good thing to see. Yeah. Uganda versus Tunisia. Uganda versus Tunisia. I don't think Uganda performed really well against Tunisia. Uganda conceded 3 goals against Tunisia. It wasn't a good performance against Tunisia. So I think game week 1, Tanzania performed better, and Uganda performed better. Tanzania performed better, and judging by recent form, Tanzania is a better performing team. Yeah. Okay, I'm back now. Too much noise in the background. So yeah, Uganda versus Tanzania. What was I saying? Tanzania performed well against Nigeria, 2-1, 2-1 loss. Tanzania had one goal, especially second half. Tanzania offensively took Uganda, Nigeria toe to toe. I think Tanzania gave Nigeria a good performance, a good opposition. I think Uganda did offer much against Tunisia, if you ask me. Defensively, by halftime, Tunisia was up 2-0. And for Nigeria versus Tanzania, Nigeria was up 1-0. There was a big difference. Tanzania performed well defensively, better than Uganda did. Offensively, in the second half, Tanzania performed better because I know Uganda scored a goal, but Uganda went to concede one more goal, yeah, to make it 3-1. And Uganda, yeah, so historically, both teams, Uganda performs better than Tanzania in East Africa Derby, but if we're judging by recent form and everything, Tanzania has more experience in recent AFCONs. Last time Uganda was in AFCON was in 2019. Tanzania qualified for the 2024 AFCON and 2025 AFCON. So you can tell that the difference as well in terms of experience, season experience. And this is why I back my Tanzania brothers to beat Uganda 2-1. I think Tanzania that has a lot of recent momentum and they can beat the historic favorite Uganda. Yeah, a 2-1 win is a good win on the cards for Uganda. For Tanzania, it can be bragging rights. They can brag to Uganda how they are better than Uganda, and yeah, so it will be about a matter of bragging rights and everything. So I think it's a good win for Tanzania if they beat Uganda 2-1. A good performance. Now the next thing I'm moving on to is Nigeria versus Tunisia. If Uganda beats Tanzania, if Tanzania beats Uganda, Tanzania moves to second because I know in the match against Nigeria versus Tunisia, one of them will lose and one of them will have to drop points. So one of them will have to drop to third place. Yeah, so it's a must win for both games, for both teams, Uganda versus Tanzania. They must win. Both teams are looking for 3 points. Both teams are looking to perform better, and it will be a high rocketing derby. Yeah, with a lot of stakes on the card. If Tanzania wins, they go to second place. If Uganda wins, they go to third. Yeah, so it's a must win for Tanzania, and I feel Tanzania has the squad decent momentum to beat Uganda 2-1. Nigeria versus Tunisia. I thought Nigeria underperformed against Tanzania. To be honest, one goal disallowed. They had one goal disallowed, but in terms of offensively, they didn't perform as well. Osimhen was pocketed in that Tanzania game. You can see that Osimhen was frustrated with how he plays, and I know I'm just a Kenyan who am I to critique Nigeria, but Nigeria should have performed better against Tanzania. Tunisia performed well against Uganda. By halftime, Tunisia was up 2-0, 2-0 or something like that. And Nigeria, around the same timeline, they were up 1-0. So there's a big levels of difference. And I feel like in this game, there might be an upset. It might not be the results the Nigeria fans will want, but Nigeria has to perform way better than this. And I'm going to go for 2-1 win, Tunisia. I'm seeing the way I'm seeing things. I'm seeing Tunisia will beat. Yeah, with the way I'm thinking things, I see Tunisia will beat Nigeria, and it will be a 2-1 win for Tunisia. Surprise win, a shocker win, but I feel like this game week two will have a lot of upsets, especially among fan bases and those. And Nigeria's game might be an upset. Hopefully, Tunisia brings on the performance. Not any hate that I have for my Nigerian brothers. I love them, but I thought in terms of recent momentum, and I feel like if you just leave Osimhen out of the game as an opponent, you tend to expose Nigeria more. Hmm, yeah, and if that happens, Tunisia scores a goal to, let's say, beat Nigeria. Then Tunisia tops the table. Tanzania, let me even put chat in red. Yeah, so if Tunisia performs well, Nigeria, Tunisia, let me put it in the chat. Yeah, so who will win this game between Nigeria, Tunisia, and Nigeria, Tunisia? Will it be a draw? Yeah, so I'm putting that poll up in the chat. Yeah, so Nigeria versus Tunisia. I'm going to go for Tunisia. I'm going to go for an upset. The way I love upsets, I'm going to go for an upset. Tunisia is thus performing rocketly well, and Tunisia did they get a clean sheet? Yeah, Tunisia beat Uganda 3-1. Yeah, Tunisia beat Uganda 3-1. So Tunisia performed well in that game. They didn't have any goals disallowed. This will have been the scoreline for Nigeria versus Tanzania, but Nigeria had a goal disallowed. So yeah, so I feel like yeah, in this game, Tunisia is also a better team. They're more efficient with their game, and I'll head to back Nigeria. I'll head to back to Tunisia, but just have to back them in an upset. Yeah. So next game is so if Tunisia beats Nigeria. Tunisia tops the table, remains top of the table with 6 points. Tanzania tops the table. Yeah. So next thing is Benin versus Botswana. Yeah. Yeah. So Benin versus Botswana. Benin conceded two goals against the DRC Congo. One goal was disallowed. So the match ended 1-0, and it was a good performance from the DRC Congo. Yeah, and what can I say? They're facing against a Botswana side who conceded 3 goals against Senegal, a strong Senegal side. I think uh, we all know Benin heads into this game favorite in terms of attack, in terms of defense as well. Botswana's performance is so it's third versus fourth. Benin needs this point to rebound from how they performed against the LC Congo. They're disappointed how they performed against the LC Congo, and they'll be hoping if the LC Congo performs, if they can get some points against Botswana. And yeah, so we'll get some points, and Benin will beat Botswana 1-0. Third game, but I see a 1-0 game here. Next is Senegal versus DLC Congo. Senegal demolished Botswana 3-0. They performed well. The former defending champions they performed well against DLC. Both teams faced each other in the World Cup qualifiers group, and Senegal beat Senegal never lost to yeah, Senegal has not lost to DRC Congo in the FIFA World Cup qualifiers. They topped the group. DRC Congo went all the way to FIFA in- Interconfederation playoffs. Now they're there, hoping for a last minute qualification chance to FIFA World Cup. And Senegal qualified to the World Cup. Senegal was knocked out in a round of 16. DRC Congo is defending fourth place from the previous tournament. So Senegal is looking for a chance to continue being fast. And this game is a tight game. Looking at how Senegal and the SC Congo's games are, there are games for tight games, and I believe in these fixtures can yeah. So these fixtures can lead to a 1-0 win for Senegal, and because Senegal versus the SC Congo's wins, Senegal beats the SC Congo by 1 goal difference. And considering that this is AFCON, the SC Congo defense will be on high alert. And if Senegal wins, they'll win by a landslide victory of 1-0. That will mean that Senegal hosts 6 points. They'll secure first place automatically. And the SC Congo will have to fight it out with Benin. We'll have to fight it out with Botswana. Yeah, in the group finale, it means that Botswana's game for the LC Congo becomes a must win if Benin beats Botswana. Yeah. Next game is to Next game is Group E, Equatorial Guinea versus Sudan. Oh, for all those who missed the game against Sudan, that was a good game. Rest in peace for all those who missed the games against Equatorial Guinea versus Sudan, and I feel that game was an excellent game. No, Equatorial Guinea versus Burkina Faso. Yeah, Equatorial Guinea. The last 3 minutes, last 5 minutes, we saw three goals go in, flying in, and it was a wonderful end of fixture. Equatorial Guinea could have conceded 3 goals, but they only conceded 2 goals. I think against Sudan, they'll be looking to sharpen their defense, and they'll be looking to play mostly to rest most of the players and play a rotated side against Sudan because they saw Sudan was mashed by Algeria 3-0. Actually, 3-0 that's a flattery performance. Sudan was conceded 4 goals that night against Algeria. 1 goal was disallowed. And yeah, and considering all this, Equatorial Guinea is a better team by far than Sudan, and I think Equatorial Guinea will get a 2-0 win against Sudan. 2-0 win against Sudan is a good enough performance, and Equatorial Guinea knows that Algeria is playing against Burkina Faso, both tough teams, and it must win for Equatorial Guinea to beat Sudan. They must win if they want to have a chance at qualifying at top two. Yeah, they must win by a good performance. They cannot win by a 1 goal difference. They must make sure they now go to a TT performance. Yeah, TT performance, TT goal, so that their goal difference is now 0. And now their goal difference is negative. So they must win by +2 or more than +2 goal difference in this fixture against Sudan. Next game is Algeria versus Burkina Faso. Algeria versus Burkina Faso is a good game, a good fixture with good minutes. And Algeria performed well against Sudan. Sudan was just a poor side. Algeria scored 4 goals that night. Burkina Faso scored 3 goals that night against Equatorial Guinea. And Algeria just looks better than Burkina Faso. But I think both teams will be looking to match up each other. They'll be looking to attack each other. And Algeria is just one strong team, too strong. And I think Burkina Faso will just sit back, defend, and wait for their chances. Yeah, another favorite here is Algeria. Algeria is top of the table, 3 points. The goal difference is 3 goal difference. They haven't conceded a goal so far, but I think against Burkina Faso, they will consider goal, a comeback goal. Late minutes, they might consider goal, and yeah, I was going to go initially for a 1-1 draw, but considering all that, I think Algeria will have a 2-0 lead at halftime. They will bottle the clean sheet and they'll settle for a 2-1 win against Burkina Faso. That, however, since I like upsets, if that happens, if Algeria beats Burkina Faso, it's good news for Equatorial Guinea. Equatorial Guinea now has a chance to finish top two if they strongly perform against Algeria. Yeah. Next is Gabon versus Mozambique. Yeah, so for this game, yeah, I'm finishing. Yeah, so for this game, Gabon versus Mozambique, I saw the Gabon game against Cameroon. I thought Gabon made a mistake dropping Abamia and put him on the bench. That was a big mistake Gabon made against Cameroon, and that they should have started Abamia in that game. And we have seen how they performed. So I think this game they must start Aubameyang. Aubameyang did not play a full 90 minutes of football, so it must start for Aubameyang to start this game. And yeah, so this game I see a 2-1 win for Gabon, and Ivory Coast versus Cameroon I see a 2-0. Yeah, I see a 2-0 loss. I see, yeah. And Gabon versus Mozambique, Gabon knows that Mozambique, this game is a must win for both teams. Mozambique lost to Ivory Coast 1-0. It was a tight game. To be honest, Ivory Coast has played a mostly rotated side. Yeah, so yeah, big up to that to them. Yeah, big up to them, and I guess yeah. So Gabon knows that they must win against Mozambique. They must get more than 2 goals today. They must get more than 1 goal difference win in this game, and I think it might be a 2-0 win, 2-1 win. Sadly, they won't get a 2 goal difference win, a big win, but they'll get a tight win, a 2-1 win. Yeah. Next is Ivory Coast versus Cameroon. Ivory Coast is a strong team, and they performed well in the World Cup qualifiers. Even Kenya will tell you that. Played against them because they performed well. Amad Diallo scored a goal. So this is a derby between Amad Diallo versus Abomo. I think both players will perform well for the national team. However, I think Ivory Coast will beat Cameroon 2-0. I think Cameroon will not score a goal. Ivory Coast will keep a clean sheet and 2-0 win. Yeah, big up. Make sure you guys hit the subscribe button, like the video, comment down your predictions, and I'm out.